Assassinations have been prevalent throughout history, most often utilized to take out various world leaders in order to topple their government or to put a stop to tyranny. They've also been used to dispatch an ex lover to cash in on that life insurance, or an old business partner who is just getting in the way. And assassins come in all shapes and sizes, from demure, unsuspecting women to kitted out, bloodthirsty samurai. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 films about assassins. Number 1. The Jackal. Bruce Willis was at the top of his game in the 90s, starring in several action-packed thrillers and dramas, and even some uproarious comedies. But one of my favorites is The Jackal, playing a stone-cold killer with the ability to mask himself as every man in America through cunning behavioral changes and state-of-the-art makeup prosthetics. He seamlessly transitions through the crowds, takes out his target, and then disappears just as easily. Opposite of him is Richard Gere's character, Declan, who was part of an Irish terrorist group and had once used the Jackal's services to take out a prominent political target, and ended up getting caught and serving a life sentence. Both the FBI and Interpol must team up and persuade Declan to help them narrow down the search to capture the Jackal, in exchange for a reduced prison sentence, and the ability to reunite with his former lover, Isabella. Basically, the Jackal is tasked with eliminating the First Lady during a press conference. And so the clock starts ticking as the authorities put together the clues and hone in on his true identity. Well, shoot, with some truly tense moments if you're looking for a tight thriller that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Make sure to check this one out over on Starz, Hulu, Prime, Philo, or Apple TV. Number 2. Shooter. Starring Mark Wahlberg in possibly the most Mark Wahlbergian role ever, in a film where the plot revolves around a government-initiated assassination and cover-up, riffing off the famous JFK conspiracy that LBJ had him assassinated so he could take office. We've got Bob Lee Swagger, possibly one of the most American patriotic names ever, a Marine Corps Force Recon Scout sniper, who retired after a mission in Ethiopia went ass up, resulting in the death of his spotter and friend, Donnie Fenn. 3 years later, he is approached by Colonel Isaac Johnson to aid in thwarting a potential assassination attempt on the president during a public event. Cut to the day of the speech. An Ethiopian Archbishop Desmond Mutombo is shot, and Swagger is framed for it, and so he goes on the run, knocking out rookie FBI agent Nick Memphis, but not killing him. Then makes his way to Kentucky and meets up with Fenn's widow, who stitches him up and agrees to help him hide out. Meanwhile, Memphis is being interrogated for not stopping the suspect. But some of the clues he puts together seem to point at some sort of cover-up. And so when the government tries then to silence him, Swagger miraculously shoots the dudes and helps Memphis escape, who ends up joining his merry little band of rebels. Long story short, they set up a convoluted plot to put the major guys behind it in a room together so he can take them all out with one swift move, while also simultaneously getting hard evidence that clears Swagger's name. Not exactly a brainbuster, but a fun, action-packed ride from start to finish. So definitely check it out over on Paramount Plus, Prime, Fandango, or Apple TV. Number 3. 13 Assassins. Loosely based on historical figures in Japanese history, this film follows a group of disbanded samurai, otherwise known as Ronin, who band together to take out a rising young emperor who bestows cruelty on all who cross his path. It's 1844, also known as the Edo period, where the Tokugawa shogunate is currently in decline. Several leaders of other clans rival for the head seat, and so the shogun recalls his forces to help fortify his position. Lord Naritsugo of Akashi is the younger half-brother of the shogun, and whilst making his way to ascend to the shogunate council, he crosses paths with the Mamiya clan, who outright oppose the current ruling clan. This causes Naritsugo to sadistically rape, torture, mutilate, and murder the members of the Mamiya clan. However, not all loyal to the shogun agree with his methods either, as we see Sir Doi Toshitsura seek out and hire Shimada Shinzaemon to assassinate Naritsugo. However, this won't be a simple task, as the armies protecting Naritsugo are being led by Hanbi, an old contemporary Shinzaemon. So Shinzaemon sets out to recruit 10 more samurai, including his own nephew, Shinroku Rako, as well as a traveling ronin and crazed hunter, Kigakoyota, who seems to have something mystical about them. They make their stand at the village of Ochiya, which they fortify with traps, like Home Alone on steroids, and manage to dispatch nearly 200 plus soldiers to the afterlife. In the end, Shinzaemon corners Naritsugo in one of the most epic sword duels seen on screen, and we come to see how pathetic Naritsugo truly is. Possibly one of my favorite films from the famed auteur Takashi Miike. Make sure you check this out for yourself over on Hulu, Fubo, Disney+, Prime, Sling TV, Redbox, and Fandango. Number 4. Ninja Assassin. We can't have a list about assassins without talking about ninjas. So, historically speaking, ninjas aren't quite real. The closest you'll ever get to a real-life ninja is Hattori Hanzo, a samurai from the Sengoku era who used less than honorable means to dispatch his enemies. And thus, the ninja legend was born. However, that doesn't mean that ninjas aren't badass characters in films. And while there are hundreds of films featuring ninjas, none have been so brutal and deadly as this film in particular. They are almost mystical, like living shadows that quickly eliminate their targets and vanish without a trace. Basically, Ozunu clan takes in orphans and raises them from adolescence to adulthood to be expert killing machines. And since the creation of the clan, have always taken 100 pounds worth of gold in exchange for their services. Well, Raizo is one of the orphans who quickly rose through the ranks to become one of the deadliest ninjas in the clan. Also happened to fall in love with a young girl, Kiriko, who when she tries to escape is executed in front of him. So Raizo decides to leave the clan behind. But just like mob rules, once you're in, there's no getting out. So he is hunted all over the globe by the clan. Especially Takashi, the main rival, Raizo ends up teaming up with a kind of ditzy Interpol agent and decides to take the clan almost single-handedly in probably the most violent and over-the-top action scenes of any of the films on this list. And that's pretty much the whole point of watching this flick. So if you're looking to be drenched in blood, then definitely check this film out over on Hulu, Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 5. John Wick. With the upcoming prequel spin-off Ballerina set to release sometime in the near future, it's got audiences wondering if we'll see more of the titular character after he supposedly dies at the end of the 4th installment. Oops, spoiler alert. Based on the comic book series of the same name, it sees John Wick, an almost supernaturally effective killer, dubbed Baba Yaga, which they say in the film means boogeyman, but it actually means Grandmother Jadwiga, a Slavic folklore witch character. Anyway, after years of murder, he met someone, fell in love, retired from the life, and then she died of cancer or something, and left him a puppy. Being that the puppy is all he has left of her, a woman whose love was so powerful, it was enough to get him to quit being an assassin. You can say that it's very important to him. Well, when some Russian baddies think they can muscle him around and get his car, he basically tells them to fuck off. So they follow him home, tie him up, kill his dog, and steal his ride, leaving him for dead. Well, they should have finished the job because this starts a chain of events which lead to a body count well into the hundreds by now, as John cuts his way through mobsters, assassins, and anyone else in his way. There's not a lot of fat in these films, almost pure action from start to finish. Good old-fashioned blockbuster magic. So definitely make sure you check out all 4 films over on Sling TV, Apple TV, Prime, or Fandango.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope that you're enjoying all of our content. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. If you want to support us even further, there are numerous ways. First, check out fatninja.shop, our very own merch store where we sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats, shoes, and more, featuring our logo and other designs. You can also join our Patreon, linked in the video description. Last but not least, we have officially launched the YouTube membership program. At only $4.99 a month, you'll get access to our monthly newsletter featuring reviews, previews, and exclusive behind-the-scenes information about our upcoming projects and videos. You also get a nifty little badge and special emojis that you can use during our upcoming live stream chats. And if you're a member of our Discord channel, you'll get access to a special role which gives you even better access to the Fat Ninja staff and the chance to enter a monthly prize drawing as well as a shout-out at the end of our videos. The prize drawings will only begin once we have reached our goal of 50 members. Finally, you'll also be gifted a special coupon code good for 20% off any item from our store. We appreciate each and every one of you and are incredibly thankful for your support. Each new subscriber and member helps us achieve our goals and keeps us motivated to create new content each week. Thanks again. Take care.
Number 6, The Bourne Identity. Much like The Manchurian Candidate, this film franchise deals a lot with brainwashing and conditioning to create the perfect killer. Based on the book series by Robert Ludlum, it stars a young, in-shape Matt Damon as the titular Jason Bourne, who is fished out of the Mediterranean by an Italian fishing crew. And guess what? He has amnesia. Using the items that were on him, he begins to retrace his life, unlocking memories and risking breaching the mission parameters he was sent on, which forces the government to step in and try to retrieve him or take him out in order to protect themselves and their deniability. Along the way, he sorta kidnaps a young German woman named Marie, who at first thinks he's a psychopath or some kind of terrorist, and then begins to believe his story and decides to help him out, as well as developing feelings for him. The film ultimately culminates in a big assassin showdown after Bourne learns that he was unable to assassinate his target and was shot during his escape, and shuts down the Treadstone project by threatening the man in charge. He then disappears into the world, but of course, this isn't the last time we see him, as a new project, Blackbriar, is started to hunt him down. The sequels are equally good and deserve your attention as well. So check out the whole franchise over at MGM Plus, Hulu, Sling TV, Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 7, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The film that started Brangelina. It has aged as well as that marriage has. Much of the humor is cringy, and the plot has more holes than Swiss cheese. However, even with that being said, it's still an entertaining piece of action comedy. Basically, John Smith masquerades as a construction executive, while his wife, Jane, pretends to be tech support consultant. And they both find themselves at marriage counseling after their 5-year relationship has been a bit unfulfilling lately. While they met in Colombia by pretending to be a couple so they wouldn't be interrogated by the local authorities, somehow they managed to keep the fact that they are both contract killers from one another. Well, that wall comes crumbling down after they are both assigned to take out a DIA prisoner named Benjamin the Tank Dans. And when the hit goes awry, they are ordered by their respective employers to eliminate one another. However, love and lust prevail, so they team up to take out their bosses instead in a string of comedic and over-the-top action scenes, until we finally wrap around to the end where they are back in marriage counseling. Except this time, the sparks have returned. Like I said, there's not much mystery or deep intrigue when it comes to the plot of this film. But if you want to switch your brain off and just watch some cool choreographed action scenes, then make sure to watch this over on Netflix, Apple TV, Prime, or Fandango. Just avoid the reboot TV series, as it both lacks the charm, chemistry, and the high-budget action stunt work. Number 8. Collateral. Dropping that charming, impetuous, and erratic persona he cultivated through the 80s and 90s, Tom Cruise fully transforms into a cold-blooded killer who kidnaps a tired and world-weary taxi cab driver, so he can escort him around the city as he takes out his targets. At first, Vincent, played by Cruise, tells Max, played by Jamie Foxx, that he's only in town for one night to complete a bunch of real estate deals. However, shit hits the fan at the first stop, when a dead body falls out of a window onto the cab. So Vincent straight up admits he's a hitman. He basically offers Max 2 choices, dead or a bunch of money if he completes all the stops. However, as the bodies begin to pile up, they turn out to be police informants and a criminal lawyer, so the police begin to actively search for an assassin. After about the 3rd target is eliminated, Max can't take it anymore and decides to take it upon himself to stop, or at the very least, hinder Vincent's task. I won't spoil the ending for this film, as it truly is a great story with some phenomenal acting and some intense, intriguing moments. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to log on to Netflix, Paramount Plus, Sling TV, Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango to check it out. Number 9. Assassins. Sylvester Stallone takes on Antonio Banderas at the height of their action film careers as dueling assassins, when one has a change of heart about taking out a target and decides to protect her instead, and thus becoming a target himself. Wrath, played by Stallone, is haunted by the memory of having to take out his mentor, Nikolai, several years prior. And so Bane, played by Banderas, takes it upon himself to finish the job. Bane is a huge fan of Wrath's work, even on the border of almost worshipping him. However, given Wrath's reputation, Bane figures if he takes him out and finishes the job, it'll make him the #1 assassin in the world. Kind of like Afro Samurai with the whole #1 headband thing. The entire film from then on is like a game of cat and mouse between the 2 hitmen and the target, a female super hacker named Elektra who stole some government info and has it on a floppy disk. I know, it was the 90s, they didn't understand the limitations of the tech at the time. Of course, it all ends up in a huge face-off between the 2 main assassins in a beautifully shot, intense sequence of events that unfold in a visually stunning Puerto Rican city block. And some epic one-liners are dropped that I guarantee you'll be quoting long after the film ends. Make sure to head over to Apple TV, Prime, or Fandango to check it out for yourself. Number 10, The Accountant. With a sequel on the way and a planned trilogy to the whole story, there's no better time to get prepared for the onslaught of action-packed, tension-filled firefights and sneaky kills than now. True to the title of the film, Ben Affleck plays an autistic man named Christian Wolf, who works as a private accountant that can be hired by firms to fix errors, find missing money, and above all, keep things quiet. Most of his clients deal in criminal activity and shady business practices. And so not only does he act as an accountant for them, but also a money laundering service, for which he takes a modest fee. During his latest case, he discovers that over $61 million were embezzled. But apparently this ruffles some feathers, as he is quickly dismissed from doing any further investigation and paid to leave. Normally, he doesn't like leaving things unfinished, but the client wants what the client wants, so he packs up and leaves, wishing Dana, a young woman working at the firm who helped him uncover the missing money, good luck in her future endeavors. That night, though, the CFO is murdered by a hitman, and two more hitmen show up to kill Christian. He takes them out with ease and realizes that they would be coming for Dana next. And while he is not exactly a squeaky clean guy, Christian has a moral code to not hurt the little guy, and so makes it over to her house just in time to thwart the assassins and place her into hiding. The film then switches the shoe onto the other foot, but making Christian the hunter as he tracks down and goes after those involved in the embezzlement and assassination attempts, resulting in a surprising twist near the end of the film. Definitely check this one out over on Prime, Apple TV, or Fandango. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, reward, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. See you in the next one.